Hey there, welcome or welcome back to Oops, I Planted Again. My name is Courtney and today I'm going to do a plant collection update. Actually, this will just be a plant collection something because the last time I showed my entire plant collection was my houseplant collection tour that I did a couple of months ago, but I want to do some updates and kind of do these throughout the year, especially because I want to look back and see how much my plants grow and I want to share that with you. So I'm going to start in my office because that's the room I'm in, and I actually only have 2 plants in my office. The first plant we have is the Bird of Paradise. And you know, it's alive. It hasn't given me a new leaf in a really long time, but also I'm terrible at watering this one. I think because it's so big, I kind of just forget about it. But you can see this leaf is dying. That one is dead back there, and there's like an old stem back there that I need to remove. And I really need to be more consistent with watering. I used to take it to the shower basically every month, but since I moved in here, I don't know, I've just become like really lazy about it. It was downstairs for a long time, but I rearranged a lot of plants and decided to bring this one up here because I had the space, but I need to pay a little bit more attention to it because I really want to get this thing to be as big as possible. Oh wait, I lied. I do have 3 plants in here. These are some philodendron micans cuttings that have been in this bottle for like 80 million years, and they're growing. I literally haven't put water in this in probably like 5 months, but you know, it's still alive. And then here we have my philodendron Florida Ghost. This was the first one that I ever bought, and it was a 1-leaf cutting and it was awesome. And you know, it was just growing pretty slowly, but also I didn't have it in the right conditions. And I decided to switch from moss to soil, and it gave me all of these like bottom leaves right here. And then it gave me this once it was like kind of settled in the soil. And then I was like, I should stake this up. And after I staked it up, now it's given me this one as well. And the light in my office is amazing, so I think that's really helping this plant. And I will probably keep this one in soil, even though if you've been watching my videos, I have a lot of plants in leca, moss, perlite, just because I really like those mediums right now. But if there's plants in soil that are just chilling in soil, I'm definitely not gonna bother them. This is a realistic view of my bedside table. But I put this alocasia here because I wanted to isolate it and I didn't have anywhere else to put it, and it has been growing. Oh my gosh, let me pick this up. It has been growing exceptionally well. It was this leaf and that was it. So I put it in drainless potting, and you can see like the roots are already at the bottom, and I'm gonna need to repot this like next week. But it shot out this beautiful leaf and I'm so excited. And I don't really have the best lighting in my bedroom, so I was kind of surprised that it's still surviving, but I'm excited to see this one grow this year. This is a plant that I said I would never buy again because it was just so bitchy, but I don't know, it's kind of redeeming itself. So I don't really have that many plants in my bedroom anymore. Like, I probably have more than the average person because people don't usually have plants in their bedrooms. But I don't have as much as I used to because the light really isn't amazing, and I wanted to put more of my plants in places in my house that I actually hang out in. But some plants, I just haven't found a place for them, which is basically just all of these right here. This is my philodendron Bipinifolium aurea. And I talked about this in a previous video where it really wasn't giving aurea. I chopped and propped it, and I have 2 other pieces that are growing really well and they have the aurea. So I repotted this to give it this plastic stake instead of the piece of wood that it was on because it kept growing. And now these new leaves are giving aurea. I actually need to put another Velcro strip around there so we can hopefully get this to the top of the pole, and hopefully we can get back to like some really big nice leaves. This is my Monstera Sanliana. Honestly, this plant is super underwhelming for me. I don't know, we just have never vibed. I know I should probably stake it up, and will I do that? You know what, I will, because it's still alive, so I might as well make it look nice. I think if I stake it up, it'll be fine. But it kind of just, like, this is the most it's ever grown, and I've had this at least for a year, if not longer. But also, It's in leca, and sometimes I just let these dry out. Like, I just don't even pay attention to the plants in my bedroom because I'm in here to sleep and that's it. So I need to take better care of this one. This is my philodendron. Well, these are my philodendron domesticums. I don't see people talk about these plants that much, but I like them. I think they grow really easily and well. I actually grew both of these and another one from one single plant because I got it in 2021 and it was huge and beautiful, and then it just like did really bad. Like, it was dying. So I chopped and propped, and now I have all of these beautiful plants. And I just recently put these stakes in them, maybe a couple of weeks ago, towards the end of the year, and I think it's going to go really well. Also, I got this pot from Etsy. It's super cute. This dead leaf. Over here, this is my place where I have all of my hanging plants because I really like this structure. I got it from IKEA, and honestly, I just think it's amazing if you don't want to hang anything like on a shelf or off a wall, but it's really nice. Look at those dead micans back there, and that Hoya is also probably dead and I need to throw in the trash. But I'll show you what is not mostly dead. I have my philodendron Brazil. I've had this plant for a really long time, and I did notice, like, I used to chop this plant up all the time, and like once it started like regrowing, a lot of the foliage is like really tiny. I think that has a lot to do with light, and I've moved this plant around so much, but it's growing. Oh my gosh. Oh wait, this is actually, whoa, that's a lot. Is this like, oh, this can hang. Oh wow, there's a lot going on in here. But yeah, I just think it needs more light, and it kind of gets good light in my room right here. And I usually switch these often. So you can tell, like, this one, this Monstera Adansonii, this was a single cutting that I put in here, but it's in like a container, and then it's like in soil and moss. I don't know what I was thinking because it's not really that great. But see, we've got some yellow leaves because I took too long to water it. And that happens a little bit too often, and you know, we're working on it. Speaking of yellowing leaves, these two, I really thought during the winter time, because in the past winters, this has been true for me, that I'm not watering as much because it's, you know, cold. Plants aren't sucking up the water as much, you know, it's cold. But you know, it's 75 degrees today, and honestly this winter hasn't been that cold at all, which means a lot of my plants are super thirsty, and I wait too long to water them. So you can see where I have all these yellowing leaves on my Marble Queen and on my Cebu Blue. You know, that's just on me. But also this one in particular, I'm pretty sure I need to repot this. I think the soil is slowly becoming hydrophobic, and I've kind of just been like trying to work around it, just like poking holes and stuff. But truly, I've never repotted this plant, and it's pretty long, so it probably needs a repot, and I will do that, and I will bring you along with me. Now we're gonna move on to the plant room. Okay, let's dive into my grow tent. I did turn my humidifier and fan off in there, and honestly I probably need to get another fan in here because I have had a couple of issues with like the leaves getting too wet, and if they stay wet for too long, you'll have like a lot of nasties on your leaves. But let's start with this level. This is my Anthurium warwickwanum. This is the medium one I got from Equigenera. I just repotted it into this glass from IKEA. If you have an IKEA near you, go there. I love these glasses. This one I think is like $4.99. It's amazing, but I just recently repotted this because I started to see a new leaf, and the pot that it was in previously, it would have been really hard to repot that later once the new leaf grew. So I just decided to do it now. So I'm excited to see this new leaf, and these are the original ones from my importing, and I expected them to die a lot sooner. I mean, but they're still hanging on for dear life, so I can't complain. Now this one, I want to show you this from the front. This is my big Anthurium, and we haven't gotten any new leaves yet, but the old ones are ugly as hell. Okay, so this is the big Anthurium. Look at those ugly ass leaves. That's okay, it's still cute. But this one is also in drainless, has leca and moss. Hasn't given me a new leaf. It actually had 3 leaves when I first got it One of them died, the other two have remained, but I haven't seen any like signs of it's giving me a new leaf. So, you know, we'll see. I mean, the roots are rooting and it's kind of just been chilling. But also I think this one is having the same issue. Well, not issue, but the same kind of like growth pattern because of like the container being big and the roots not being as big. So it's been working on its roots for a really long time, which is totally fine. And I am patient because I love this plant and I think it's just like beautiful and it's just like my ultimate plant. And then we have this little one, and this is the seedling I got on that deal. It was 3 for $80, which is insane for these plants because one of these is like $1 million freaking dollars. But I got a seedling too, and this is gonna be the second leaf from buying it. I think 1 or 2 leaves have died off. This was the first one that grew, and then we have another little one right there. So this is gonna be really exciting. This Gloriosum desperately needs a repot. I don't really know what's going on. Well, I kind of do, but I kind of don't. Honestly, I've had a bunch of Gloriosums that I've neglected in moss and they've still lived, but this one is just like being really funky. So we need to repot this one. Here we have a Syngonium chiapense. I have a bunch of these, love them, think they're an amazing plant. I feel like people don't talk about these enough. I think they're really easy growers too, and I think I have all of mine in moss. This is my Philodendron squamiferum. It looks kind of sad. I feel like it needs a repot, like everything else. I just have a lot of repotting to do this year, and I want to get a lot of it done before the summer because I just want everything to have the opportunity to grow really well. But I have a bunch of cuttings of this plant, so that's okay. It'll be repotted soon. Here we have my Paraiso Verde. I actually have a bunch of these, and this one clearly is outgrown the stake, so another issue we need to fix. And I actually think I already have some long stakes that I can use for this plant. This is my Monstera albo. I actually got this plant, I think it was in March of last year, and this is the original leaf. That's all I had with like, I think maybe a root or maybe no roots. I don't know, just a node. So I was taking a big risk because this was $125, which is absolutely insane. So it gave me this leaf at first and I was excited because I'm like, okay, I can do it. And then it gave me these 2 beautiful leaves, and the variegation on this is just so, it's like mesmerizing. I'm not a huge like person when I'm like, I need every variegated plant, but I think it looks really cool and I like it. This one's cute too. And now we finally have a new leaf, and there hasn't been anything since these 2 for a really long time. So I thought I kind of like fucked up this plant, to be honest with you, but I put it in the drainless method, and honestly, wait, does this need some water? This might actually need some water. And I think it's actually working out really well. Something that I'll talk about a little bit later is one of the issues that I kind of have with this method, but it's not a super huge deal to me, I think, but I'll talk about it when I talk about another plant. But anyways, that's how it's growing and I love it. Here we have my Anthurium forgetii, and actually let me pull this out for you because it's really huge. So this is my Anthurium forgetii, and it's an absolute monster. So when I first got this plant, it was really underwhelming to me. I always wanted one, but it just like didn't grow, and I had it for so long. I thought I was like killing it, I don't know. But I changed it to this method, I think, after it grew its first new leaf, I think. And ever since then, it's been doing so well. So I have this in moss, and then leca and perlite at the bottom. I actually need to put some water in here because it's been sucking up a ton of water. But I'm gonna show you all the leaves because they're like insane. This was the last leaf that grew. This was the last leaf before the last leaf, and I thought I messed it up, and I was so sad because I never tried to like open leaves at all because I'm scared they're gonna turn out like this, and it did anyways, and I didn't do anything. So you know, it's still pretty though. And we got this going up here, which is very exciting. I wish I had another Anthurium to do something with it, another one that was like flowering. So that's actually the last leaf that grew in, and I mean, like, you can compare it. That's the oldest leaf on this plant, and then this one, it's just like so magical. This is my hand, so it's bigger than my hand. and it's just chilling. And I love this plant. At first I didn't like it because I thought it was boring, like it just didn't grow at all. But once it started growing, it was just like boom, boom, boom. So this one I really love. Over here we have one of my Bromars fantasies. So it's growing, but I don't know, the leaves, I thought they would at least be a little bit bigger by now. I don't know, it's been like this for a while and it's still growing, but look, it has this like, let me try to focus this. It has this really tiny freaking leaf. Oh my gosh, baby, there we go. It has this really tiny leaf, so I don't know what to do with that one, but it's, you know, oh my god, I know why. This shit is dry. I just put water in here. Hold on. I watered it, so hopefully it'll cheer back up a little bit. Here is one of the philodendron silver swords I have. Actually, I have a bunch of these. Girl, this desperately needs some water. It needs a repot, actually. Like, it needs something to look a little bit better. But it's growing, but see, it has that tiny leaf syndrome. So we need to fix this one. This mother effer. This is so annoying. I don't know what is wrong with this plant. This is my Epipremnum pinnatum albo variegata. Look at it. Like, what the actual fuck? I don't know what's wrong with this. I put it in moss because it was in my little leca system that I have down there, and I pulled it out and I was like, oh, it doesn't have any fucking roots. So I pulled it out, put it in here, and it's dying. So I don't know. Hopefully I'll have a better update next month. In here we have this Scindapsus. I think this is a, I don't know which one this is. What is this one? It's a Scindapsus. The name's on the tip of my tongue, and I have a bunch of these. I don't remember, but it's a Scindapsus. It was actually just like a nub that I stuck in here, and I had no idea what it was, and I just had to wait for it to grow. So it grew into this. Now to the other side. I'm gonna have to like pull these plants out for you because it's just like a lot. Here we have my Anthurium magnificum. I actually just put it in this little glass container that I got from IKEA. It had two or three leaves originally. This is the last one from importing, and then it just recently grew this big beautiful one. This is one I've had a couple of times and I love it. I think this is an amazing beginner Anthurium. It does grow kind of slow, but once it grows, it's just like kapow. Like, it just looks like so gorgeous. And this is my hand for reference. So that's pretty decent size for a new leaf. I don't see anything poking out yet, but I have high hopes for this one, and I need to fill up the water, so I'm gonna do that quickly. This ratty little thing is my Anthurium regale. This is also one that I got from the Aqua Genera pop-up last year. It was so gorgeous, and I will insert a picture or a video I have of it from when I first got it last year. I was so excited for this plant because it was only 45 bucks, and I was like, that's an amazing deal for this plant. Like, I knew it was as soon as I saw it. So I got it, it was gorgeous, and now it's, I don't know, fucking ugly. Like, this one has just had so much, I don't know. But this was the first, like, new leaf in a long time that grew, and it grew like this, and I have no idea why. Like, it was out, it was hardened, and then but it had like holes and stuff. And like I said, I never touched the new leaves because I'm scared I'm gonna rip them, and it became ripped anyways. So these are all the old. This one, actually, this one grew in my care. It was beautiful, and then it looks like this. This was old, this was old, and this was old. So I only have grown those two, and mind you, it was totally normal, and then it wasn't. But then I saw this appear. So that's the latest one, and honestly, should I cut those other leaves off? Probably. Am I going to? Absolutely not. I let the leaves stay as long as they want to. Like, if they're not completely trashed, I'll just keep them. I don't know. I just think it just holds memories. I don't know. But that new leaf is freaking gorgeous. And it's in this same method again, and I'm wondering if I have, no, okay, so I don't have that issue that I was talking about earlier in the video. I will show you the plant that I did have that issue with, but will this need a repot? I don't know, let's ask the audience. I kind of think yes. So we'll do that soon. Here we have my Anthurium crystallineum, and you know, we got a lot going on here. I actually recently repotted this. I think it was in my last video. and we have these 3 new leaves that are growing. So in that video where I talked about this plant, I have been growing it. This one isn't drainless, but it is in like the leca moss perlite combination, as you can see. But in that video, I knew I wanted to repot it because the top area was just like doing too much. And when I pulled it out, I noticed that there was like darkness like around like the moss and like lower part. So I figured it was probably root rot, and it was. But it's not really that big of a deal to me because this plant had amazing roots. It had so much roots because I've had this probably over a year and a half, I think. Over a year at least. And the roots were amazing. So basically all I had to do, why am I holding this like, is this how you hold a baby? I don't know. But I'm just gonna hold it like this. But I just had to cut off all of those old roots. And it seems like overwhelming with like growing this method, but honestly I found it a lot easier, and I was able to kind of like catch it and get rid of those roots instead of, let's say a plant was in soil for a long time and it was like kind of growing but kind of not, and it looked shitty, and I didn't know what would be wrong with it because I couldn't really see what was going on until I would have had to like repot the entire thing. So with root rot, it's a lot easier, in my opinion, in my experience, to deal with it in this way, because basically all I had to do was just like pull the plant out of the moss, and just like all of the roots had grown like past the moss, so I was basically just cutting the ends of that off, and it made it pretty easy. So hopefully, you know, if this gets to 10 leaves, well, it technically has 10 leaves, but I mean 10 like big honking leaves, that'll be really exciting. But yeah, I love this plant. I think this is also a really great beginner anthurium plant if you're looking to get into anthuriums. Here we have another Syngonium chiapense. Love this plant, think it's amazing, think more people should have it. Super easy grower. Do I need to like stake it up properly? Yeah, this isn't even attached, like it's attached right here, but that's it. Like it's not attached to anything. It's growing well. I honestly should propagate it, but I probably won't because I'm planning on moving like in the fall of this year. So I like don't want to overwhelm myself with plants, even though I know the process is going to be insane to move wherever I move to. I'm definitely moving out of Texas. So I'm not going to propagate this, even though I kind of want to, but I don't need to because I already have 3 of these. But I just love this plant. I love this. Oh, sorry. I love the size of the leaves. I love the shape of the leaves. I would have never guessed that it was a Syngonium if I saw it. It's just like, it just looks so unique compared to other Syngoniums. But it's definitely a winner. Love this plant. Here we have another Syngonium. And you know, this plant goes back and forth with like being one that I like and one that I don't like. This is a Syngonium rayi. I actually have another one somewhere that I will show you, and this one is just like a smaller one, but it keeps growing. Actually, there's a new leaf right there. This one I recently put into this container because it was just in moss and I wasn't keeping up with the watering. So this way I can just fill this bottom part with water, and if something is wrong, like I can easily just pull it out and fix it. But I probably need to connect this piece eventually. Now we're on to the second level. This is literally nothing. It's growing. Like I saw something green in here the other day. Now I don't see it, which is kind of alarming. Okay, where did it go? Literally in the video I just posted, I saw something green growing, and now I see nothing. Is that how we're gonna do it? I swear I saw it. Oh wow, okay, well, hopefully I got an update next month because I don't know what's gonna happen with this. Here we have another crystalinium, growing beautifully, dry as hell though. So let me give this some water. Here we have my little alocasia box. So these are all green goddess cuttings. I just recently repotted these, so hopefully they don't die. Those are all bulbs. I think I have alocasia frydek. I think I have maybe black velvet, maybe another green goddess. I honestly don't know what the bulbs are, so we'll have to wait and see. We have the silver dragon scale. This is new. What the fuck? Okay, you know, it's all right. It's all right. It's all gonna be okay. it's still a beautiful plant. Now this level is jam-packed. I may have to go from the other end of my grow tent because this is super, there's a lot going on here. Okay, first box, let's go through this. First we have the other Bipinifolium aurea that I talked about earlier. Plant's perfectly fine. I kind of just stuck it in another container with water at the bottom, and you know, we'll see what happens. It was either my easiest repot or my dumbest repot with just kind of like putting it in here, so we'll see. And you can tell I was so lazy. Oh my gosh, I need to fix this. Do I need to fix this? I probably won't. Look at that. I just kind of stuffed the moss in there, but you can see it's like not even fully in. That's not good. We have 2 more of those Syngonium rays. These are in water. This was a big one that got leggy, so I just cut it off and put it in water because I didn't feel like dealing with it. Still alive and kicking, growing a new leaf, and this is a little one that I have in this big ass container that's probably too big for it, but it doesn't matter right now. We have another fabulous Syngonium Chiapense. No complaints, super chill plant. That's how I'm growing it, just like this. Here we have a Rhaphidophora tetrasperma cutting in Leca. Here we have a Hoya polyneura, and I talked about this plant in my last video, how when I got it I was super excited about it because I was getting into a lot of Hoyas, but honestly it's been underwhelming for me in the last year, and I decided to stake it up. Is it gonna grow like this? I don't know. I'll just have to keep you updated. I honestly have no idea. Because it's kind of just been trailing, but I have it in soil. I'm sorry I keep using my middle finger. I'm just so used to pointing with that finger. I have a band-aid on my pointer finger, so that's why I keep using my middle finger. So I'm not flicking you off. It's just because I have a band-aid on my finger. So ignore that. Anyways, we have this upper part in soil, the bottom in Leca, and then it is in its own water reservoir. Here we have a bunch of cuttings in water, and they look crusty as hell. So yeah, we've got Monstera adansonii, Monstera Peru, Neon Pothos, Baltic Blue, Pothos, just looking a mess. So I don't feel like doing anything with these, so we're just gonna keep them in water. I just did this with the Scindapsus Pictus exotica. So does it look crappy? Yes. Is it going to like go up and climb? I don't know, but we're gonna try it. The soil's kind of dry too, so let me put some water in here. Here we have the next container. Let me show you what's inside. Here we have both of those other Burl Marx Fantasies that I was talking about. I just put these up on the stakes, and I put them in Leca because they were in water before, so hopefully we can get some big leaves. That's what I want to do with this plant. When I first saw this, like last year or the year before, I was like, this is so cute. Actually, I think it was 2021, and then I got a cutting for like 30 bucks, but it's created 3 plants for me, so it's not really that terrible, but you know, hopefully we can do a little bit better with care for these plants. Here we have my Scindapsus Silver Hero, and I actually just repotted this in my last video, and I'm so shocked at how like it's perked up so quickly. This plant was thirsty as hell. Scindapsus do be thirsty. They be thirsty plants. But I have this in, the bottom layer is Leca, and it's in like a pot like this inside of this container. So the top part is soil, the bottom part is Leca, and when I pulled it out just now, because I was like, oh, let me see if there's water in here, there was no water, so this plant was so thirsty. But it looks cute, and I'm excited to see this one grow. I was really excited to find this plant. This is one I found locally, I think in 2021, but then I imported one that looks like shit, and I'll show you that in a second. But you know, this one's really cute, and it's perked back up, and I'm really happy about that. Here we have the Philodendron Brio. A couple of months ago I talked about this plant saying that it was crap and it didn't grow, but I also neglected it so much. But after that, I literally sprouted out all these cute little leaves, and I decided to put it in Leca, and I see a new leaf sprouting. It's very, very small. Like, it's very, what the fuck is this? Is that dirt? Okay, that was just dirt. Oh my god, that scared me. Anyways, we have a new leaf on this, and I'm excited to watch this one grow. Here we have another Rhaphidophora tetrasperma. This grew from like a small, like couple of pieces, and yeah, I don't know, it looks so weird, and leaves are so juvenile, I guess. I don't know, and it's really curly too. Honestly, this is another plant that I don't know, I kind of just let it do its thing. If it grows, it grows. If it doesn't, you know, it's whatever. Last but definitely not least on this row of my grow tent, we have a bunch of plants down here that I really don't remember what they are. One of them is probably a Scindapsus Silver Hero, but they became leggy and just became nubs, so I ended up just chopping them and propping them and seeing if they're gonna just basically grow just in leca, so we'll have to see on that. Here we have Philodendron Silver Sword. That one's growing exceptionally well, and all of these plants are just in leca, and then this is the water reservoir. As you can see, the water needs to be filled up, but that's how high it was. So we have a Philodendron Florida Ghost back here. Easy breezy, really great philodendron. I think it's just like amazing. Back here, oh wait, I do have a Silver Hero. Let me try to reach it. I am in my grow tent so strangely right now. I wish I could put a camera on myself. Okay, back there, we do have another Silver Hero, and there's another Scindapsus, but I don't remember what that one is called. All of these back here are kind of growing really wonky. That in the back corner, I think it was a Forgetii that I got like 2 years ago, but it died, and I just have been holding on to this nub for so long, and I don't know why. I just do. Oh wait, no, this is a Silver Hero. I don't know what that Scindapsus is back there then. That's another Scindapsus, so we'll have to see. And then right here we have another one of my Philodendron Bilietiers. It's loving leca, and you know, the new leaves are getting a lot bigger, which I'm very happy about because this one was a lot smaller than the other one that I imported that I'll show you in a little bit. Now we're gonna go through the last level, the bottom level of my grow tent, and me and you are both gonna be surprised because I'm so bad about pulling these plants out and checking on them and watering them. I usually just dump a bunch of water and let them like bottom water, and it's just like months in between me actually pulling them out. So let's see what these plants are looking like. I'm a little nervous because I have been neglecting these. Oh my god, I know they're dry as hell. Dry as hell. Let me get the thing to water so I can just water them as I'm talking about them. I have a bunch of cuttings of the same, there's only a few types of plants in here, so I'm just going to show you one or two of the same type. So I have Philodendron Squamiferum, I have another Syngonium chiapense, of course, I have some Pariso Verde, I have Philodendron Campo, and I think I have a horsehead. Oh my gosh, there's an alocasia here. I think this is probably dead if it's in here because I literally never water these. I'm so bad. Okay, so let me show you what I have. So this, I actually love the Philodendron Campo. I think it's so cute and grows so well. Okay, the soil's not, or the pot, not the soil, the moss is not that dry. This plant fell over, that's okay. We'll fix that. Philodendron Campo. So this needs a stake, but like it's so cute though. Like it's been growing, there's a new leaf growing. It looks like it has another growth spot too. Or maybe I'm just tripping. But growing super well, but see how it's wobbly? We obviously need to put a stake on this. Can I do it in like 5 seconds? And probably not, because I don't know if it's gonna fit in this level. So I'm just gonna put it to the side right now, and hopefully it doesn't fall over. But I have a bunch of these. I have this little cutie. This one's so cute. It says camp too. This one's cute as well. Nice velvety leafed textured plants. I think I have, is this 2 more? Maybe I should do like a little like giveaway because I have a lot of cuttings, and I'm not opening up my shop this year because I'm moving and I just don't want to stress myself out, but maybe I'll do a giveaway. Comment below this video if you want me to do a plantee giveaway. I could do it next month during my birthday. That would be really fun. So let me know in the comments if you know, if we should do that. And oh, y'all, I gotta do I gotta fix this. Oh my goodness. Oh, the soil or the moss is dry. Girl, be so fucking for real. What is wrong? I didn't even know it was like this. Look at how amazing that's growing. What the heck? From this single, these are all from a single plant that I ended up chopping because it wasn't growing well. Are you kidding me? It was like laying across like this. I'm terrible. But look at that. Oh my gosh. We'll try to prop that up really. We can prop all, no, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait till tomorrow to actually do all of these so then I can film it for you, because clearly I have a lot of work to do. I think that was the last Campo. Okay, so I'm gonna show you, let's go to the Pariso Verdes. This would be cute in the giveaway too. Maybe I'll do like the Squami, the Pariso Verde, and the Campo, and what else do I have in here? what's that other one? And then the horsehead philodendron. Yeah, maybe I'll do a giveaway with all of those. We have a Paraiso Verde, and these are all from one plant. Like all of these cuttings from the Paraiso Verde are from my original plant. Did I show you that? Yeah, I showed you that earlier. So that they were all from one single plant that I chopped up last year. Soil is dry, needs a stake up, but grows beautifully well. And I could see like the variegation in it like coming back, so that's amazing. These all, I need like 100 more stakes. I need like 100 more stakes. These are so bad. They're so like growing so insane. I'm tripping. I'm really tripping, y'all. Look at this. And it's still growing. Mind you, these are neglected, like straight up, these are really neglected. And the fact that they're growing so well, that makes me happy. But look at that new leaf. I love the look of the Paraiso Verde. I think it's a really cool plant. But clearly we've got a couple things we need to do. I don't even know how this alocasia is in here. Do I have any more Paraiso Verde? Oh yeah, here, I have another one. I remember I said, I'm just gonna show you one of each. No, I'll just show you them all. I need to take them all out. Look at this one. Leaning. I'm actually insane. I'm insane. Why am I like this? Why am I like this? Is this another one? No, okay. So the next plant I'm gonna show you is the Philodendron not the bipinifolium. Is it a bipinifolium? I think this is a bipinifolium. These are great. See, some of the moss, like this moss is wet. So some of the moss is wet, some of it's not. So I don't know if I just like, I don't know, but this is wet and it's growing and needs a stake. Everything needs a stake. I don't even think I have enough to do this, but I'm probably just gonna put all of these back in carefully and try to like tilt them up towards the edges of the box that I have them in until I can buy some more stakes, because I use these a lot because I can cut them in half and it works, but I'm not sure that they're going to fit like on this bottom level of my shelf. And I might have to do some adjusting. I might need to basically either, I've been thinking about getting a bigger grow tent and just getting rid of this one, like just sell it on Craigslist. Do people use Craigslist? I don't know. I'll probably just tell somebody on TikTok if they want this grow tent, they can have it. But I was thinking of getting a bigger one because I think I'm gonna need more shelf space, because I like to stake up a lot of my plants. So I did that on the left side of my tent, which has worked out really well for like those taller plants. But on this level, like this one is still 1, 2, 3, 4 levels. And I feel like I'm running out of tall space, not necessarily like shelf space, but the length. And like I have my shelf that I work on, like my little table, and like that's okay. And I have another one downstairs, but honestly, I would rather just get a bigger tent and just put everything inside of there. For me personally, I think that makes the most sense, because I don't know, I just think everything's thriving really well inside of the grow tent, and I think it's easier for me to like clean up this room. I'm saying that even though the room is messy. But I just think if I had a grow tent that's bigger, and I already have another shelf downstairs that I can use to put in there, it would just make more sense. The only thing I really have to be like conscious of is that the 2 windows in this room are on this side, and I still have a ton of plants that are not inside of the grow tent. However, if I get a grow tent that is bigger than the one that I have, then I can put all of the plants in there, and the window really isn't an issue for me because it doesn't really matter as long as I have the other window for whenever I'm filming videos. But I also have a light to film anyway, so we'll figure it out in the next couple of weeks, but we'll have to definitely figure it out very soon. So this is another bipinifolium. Look at that. It's like, girl, why am I like this? There's so many. Oh, I definitely gotta do a giveaway, y'all. I have to give away a lot of this. I have to. Okay, another bipinifolium aurea. And this moss is wet. So I'm like, why are some of them dry and then some of them are wet? I don't know how this I don't even know. Is this a green goddess? This might be. How is this even alive? How is this even alive? Why is it even in here? I'm putting this in the alocasia little area, and this one is, I'm pretty sure this is a green goddess as well. I feel like I'm going through these a little bit fast, but I'm trying to like get through it because I'm so shocked at my neglect of these plants. Another Bipinifolium aurea. This moss is a little bit moist. Not as moist as the other ones, but still moist. Syngonium chiapense, dry. Oh, this one I don't think has, I know why it's dry. This one doesn't have any holes at the bottom, so I must have just like stuffed it in here to see if it would grow. And it did. And it did. I love this plant. I don't even know where I'd be getting these sometimes. Like I haven't really, like in 2021 I bought so many plants, and like in 2022 I did more importing. That's when no, 2021. Did I import in 2021? Was that 2020? Oh my god, what is the year? But 2022 I did not get as many plants. Like I didn't go plant shopping as much because I don't know, I have a lot of plants. And then in 2021 I felt like I was getting tons of plants all the time and propagating all the time, so that's why I feel like I have a lot of cuttings and stuff in my collection, but I want to do something with them, give them away. So we have a philodendron squammy. This one looks better than my other one. I'm gonna put this back. This, I know this was a Syngonium Ray, look at it. So that's going to the trash. A little baby Micans cutting. We'll squirt some water in here. Micans are amazing. They just grow like so well. Rhaphidophora tetrasperma. Yeah. Some more squammy, like, oh my god, do you hear that crunch? That's so dry. Like, I don't know how some of them are dry and some of them are moist. Like, I don't understand. Oh, this philodendron gloriosum that I had that withered away. This was like a little chunk that I got. I think it was like some giveaway or something that I had, but honestly, like, it's fine. It was like a little chunk that barely ever grew anything for me. So, okay, we have, how many more squammies do we have? Okay, so we have this one, and we have this one. We have a ton, oh, geez. We have a ton of these. All need to be staked up. I think I literally need to stake every single plant. So that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 15 plants that I need to stake up. When am I going to do that? That's a good question. That's a good question. Eventually, very soon. I just need to get some more stakes. But also though, I mean, I could combine some. I definitely want to do a giveaway, but we'll see what I do with the ones that I do keep, because yeah, I guess I could just make like a bunch of full plants. That could be cool too. That could be cool. Okay, I'm gonna put all these away, water them, and then actually I'm gonna water them and then I'm gonna put them away, and then I'll go into the last basket. And this last like bucket of plants I know are gonna be absolutely disgusting and scary because I never pull this one out. That's also another issue that I have with this grow tent. Like, the size is really great, it's really convenient. I think it would be better for somebody who has like less room. Like, I got this size because I really couldn't tell like what the size was gonna be for it, and although it's really large, I have a lot of plants that are getting a lot bigger and I like them in the grow tent. It's just, it makes the most sense for me, and I need a bigger one, and I'm gonna have to get it like ASAP. These are mostly just common plants that I was growing, but as you can see, they look like shit. Look at that Bipinifolium aurea, but still growing, but dry as hell. Let's give it some water. Okay. We have Rhaphidophora tetrasperma cuttings because I chopped up a big one last year. That's why I have so many of them everywhere, and I need to repot them again into one nice big pot. We have the Hoya pubicalix splash that I think is growing like insanely well. We have a Hartley philodendron back here in the corner. You know, it's back there. Scindapsus. All of this is dry. Like, I don't even know how it's even alive. That one string of hearts cutting that I literally never grew. Some Hoya Crimson. Are these Princess? I think these are Princess. Hoya Crimson Princess. Hartley Philodendron. Scindapsus. Trivii Moonlight. And, I mean, that's it. I think that's a Golden Pothos, or... No, that's that Jade Pothos. Well, that's definitely dead. But yeah, that's all that's going on in here. I just never went through this. Like, I just didn't have any place to put it. So I just put everything in this basket and just forgot about it. So that's my bad. But honestly, that's why I need a bigger grow tent so that I have more space, because I can't really walk in here, which is like my big issue. And I kind of want it to be like a U shape so that I can go in and kind of look around at everything. So that's what I'm thinking for the future. But that's all in the grow tent. Let's get to the rest of the house. Okay, the rest of the plant room. This is my Maranta. You can see it's really bald there. This one dried out really bad when I was on vacation last year. I was only gone for like 6 days, but it dried up really bad. Like you can see, like this piece is bad. So honestly, I should just like repot it so that everything's closer together. Eventually I'll do that, but it's still alive, so I'm not mad. We have my rubber tree that desperately needs to be fixed. Look at that soil, it's so bad. But I actually want to follow Crazy Plant Guy's video. I saw it a while ago. I don't remember what happened in it, but he has one about this plant, so I want to follow his advice to grow this plant a lot better. This is the bottom piece of my Hartley philodendron that I cut off, that I said I was gonna cut into like grow it, but what the fuck am I doing with this? It just needs to go in the trash. Here we have some black velvet alocasias that are alive and kicking. Looks like we'll have a couple of little leaves, but the bulbs, like you can see, like that bulb is like crazy. And oh, there's another one right there. I just basically put everything inside of this pot, in this, what is this called? A container. Leca and perlite at the bottom, then moss on top. And you can see like the roots love it. Alocasias love being moist, so I thought this was the best way to grow the corms. And I think there's like 11 black velvet corms in here. So that'll be really exciting to watch over the next couple of months. Yeah, here's that calathea that I repotted recent. Why is it so dark? Oh, maybe that's because it's the soil. Okay. I repotted this recently to be drainless, and as you can see, like I have filled this up multiple times recently, and the soil and the roots are just shrinking up so much water, so I'll need to put some more water in there. This plant was really dry. I got it from IKEA, so their soil is also really terrible. If you've never bought a plant from there, even though they have like some decent, like good plants, if you've never bought a plant from there, the soil is terrible, and I should have repotted it sooner, but I didn't. No big deal. It's still alive clearly, and it's perked up a significant amount. So I think it's just going to take a little bit to adjust. And this plant almost looks fake to me. And I had a really huge one like this last year, but it kept getting spider mites. Here we have this awkwardly dead corner. That is a plant that I have no idea what it is. I never have. And I have another one of it that's really long downstairs that I'll have to show you. This is an alocasia something or another. I don't know. It kind of just sits back here in the corner. I don't really know what to do with it because it was really big and then it kind of like isn't now. So I don't know what to do with that one. This is a rehab philodendron mayoi. It needs a rehab, even though I got it as a rehab and it grew, but now it just looks stupid. That's some like grody cuttings. This is my fried egg. I repotted this, and one tip for it being drainless, don't pot these in the dark. Or don't water these in the dark, because I watered it a little bit too high and the leaves did not like that. But we have this newest leaf and that kind of looks like a big honker, so I'm excited. It's growing. This is the other Paraiso Verde that I was talking about, and honestly I'm a little bit nervous about this plant. I repotted it recently, like a couple weeks ago, not even, and I was just like, it has this new leaf that won't unfurl, and I feel like I need to unfurl it myself, but I really don't want to. But then I noticed today when I came to look at it, the stem is like yellow and this leaf is yellow. So I'm like, what the fuck is actually happening? It feels fine. So I know it's just taking time to adjust, but I'm really gonna have to keep an eye out on this plant because I'm a little bit nervous about this one. Over here we have some neon pothos that I've been needing to combine together into one pot so it looks really big and gorgeous. And like you can tell, it'll look so beautiful. I just need to do it. It's literally been months since I said I was gonna do it and I haven't said it. I'm terrible. Over here we have another syngonium. I actually got this for $15 last year. I think it was at like Lowe's or Home Depot, and I had it outside all summer and it was doing pretty well. Brought it inside, not doing so hot. It's very like but it's still growing. Like it has new leaves everywhere, so I'm not gonna bother it and I'm not gonna repot it because I really don't feel like it. Here we have the really scary table in my plant room. So we have the syngonium that I recently repotted. It lost a couple leaves in the repot, but I think it'll be fine. I have 2 Gloriosums over here. These are the original 2 that I first had. Is that a spider web? What the fuck? I hope that actually looked like a regular spider web, not a spider mite spider web. So fingers crossed that it's actually just a spider. Yeah, so that's my Gloriosum. I have this other one here too, and this leaf I feel like is about to rot because it's been like this for a while and has not like unfurled. So that's a little bit scary. There's a Melanochrysum back there, also super sketchy. A dead Monstera thing. There's an Anthurium. This is actually the first Anthurium I ever bought, and I actually got this locally, and I thought it was so cute, but look at it. It just looks like shit. We have some philodendron, pothos. We have pothos. What is this? It's my Gisenia. I actually ended up propagating these in Leca just to see like what would happen. I don't know if anything's actually gonna happen, so we'll have to keep an update on that. And that's like the rest of the Gisenia, like the leggy pieces that I cut. And then this is a philodendron. Is this philodendron? Chardonnay. So I've had these for a while. This actually, I just propagated this. So the fact that it's growing is really good. Of course this needs water. Like, why would it need water? Let me water this. And this is my philodendron bilietiae. This is the first one that I ever bought, and I decided to see if it'll climb. So hopefully it will. It is growing strangely. It always has. So I'll show you my other one and see how that one's growing, and it's like completely different. It's insane. This is the big plant makeover that I did recently, and let's go through these plants. This is my Melanochrysum. I actually imported this one. I've had a couple in the past, love them. I think they're an amazing plant. So it started growing back, and that's how big the leaves were before. So I need to get back to that, but it's been growing pretty well. I just recently put it on this stake, and you can see that leaf at the top. It looks really tiny, so I'm a little bit nervous about that, but that's okay. It still wow, that's actually not that long to go. So I'm gonna have to get something else to put this on. Anyways, this is my Philodendron domesticum, which has a little bit longer of a time to grow up this pole. This is one that I talked about earlier in the video, grew from a single plant, and I just recently put it on this wood, and this one is in soil. Here we have Monstera deliciosa that clearly needs to be watered. Look how floppy this leaf is. I'm so sorry. But when plants don't have anything at the bottom, like there's nothing under this terracotta pot, I just like, I don't know, I just ignore it. I'm so bad about that, but I'll water it. It's my heartleaf philodendron. I actually had to cut this because it is so long, and I ended up chopping it because it was just too long and it got leggy at the bottom anyways. But I really want to find a solution to get some more light up here, so I was thinking of putting like 2 like maybe like, is it a sconces up here with grow lights in them. Do I know how to do that? No, but can I figure it out? Absolutely. And then I have my Gisenia pothos, pretty tall. I'm 5'2" and it's taller than me. So there's the latest leaf. It's not really sticking to the wall yet, but it's on the wall, if that makes sense. I've only had a few leaves that have been like really large, like this one and this one. You can see this piece like keeps popping off, but this is the other one that grew like really big, but nothing like super huge since then. Down here we have this philodendron Birkin that I constantly neglect, but it keeps living, so I keep keeping it. I recently put this Mandula on this piece of wood, and when I did it, I like didn't realize how long this piece was already, and this was the only piece of wood that I had, and it's gonna outgrow it literally like right now. So this will need to be repotted really soon. But isn't the variegation on the Mandula just amazing? I love this plant. Bottom level on the shelf, we have another Maranta growing pretty well. Gets a little crusty sometimes, but that's okay. And then we have another Hoya pubicalix Splash. And then here I have another philodendron. Why can I not remember the name? Oh my gosh, what is this called? Philodendron heartleaf Brazil. I couldn't remember this. It's a Brazil, growing really well. Lemon, lime, philodendron. Top like #1 favorite plant ever. Up here we have my Monstera Peru. I actually just watered this because it's like really dry, and I never repotted it when I said I was going to. So hopefully, you know, it stays good. This is my regular Scindapsus pictus grayus, and it needs water. You can tell it's so thirsty. So thirsty. And then we have another Scindapsus. It's the, is it the Silver Lady? I forget what this one is, but I have a bunch of these, and this is dry too, so I need to water that today too. And up here we have another Philodendron micans, great plant. These were actually all separate cuttings and plants that I put together, and it's actually growing like insanely. I didn't realize how long it was when it was upstairs in my room, but it's growing like, it's pretty long. Oh shoot, it's like really long. Snake plant, classic. Another Monstera deliciosa we have right here. Monstera adansonii that we're gonna try to get to climb. And then back there is my alocasia pink dragon something. It's there, you know, and I want to repot it to be with like lichen moss. I just haven't gotten around to it, honestly. This is my prized Calathea orbifolia. I've gone back and forth with this plant. I actually got it at Walmart. I think it was in 2021 actually, and it was so bad, and then it was good, and then it was bad again, but now it's doing a lot better. And my dog actually knocked this off the table this morning, and it didn't tumble over because like this table comes apart, so it kind of just like the table part slid off onto the floor. You can see I still have like dirt on the floor over there, and it just slid off the thing, but it didn't like tumble over, so that was really nice. There's the culprit. Over here we have the Philodendron hoe. It honestly looks really dry, even though I just repotted it. I honestly might need to get a taller pot for this plant because I don't know, it just looks so dry, but I just watered this, so I don't know. There we have another bird of paradise. Honestly, don't know how it's still alive. It's dry and I need to water it. More of those Scindapsus that I was talking about. So we have an Albo Syngonium back here. The variegation on this one, the way it turned out is crazy. I absolutely love this plant. And then this is the the unknown plant that I was talking about that I have no idea what it is. I made like this little plant salad. It has like Rhaphidophora tetrasperma, and it has that other one, and I don't know what it is like at all. We have another Scindapsus right here. This one honestly hasn't done anything, even though it's kind of chilling in water, so that's kind of like a little bit surprising to me, but I think it'll be all right. I have pretty good light downstairs, so I think it'll be good. Over here, these are all the plants that I have on like my bar stool thing. Golden pothos. This is I think this is one of the oldest plants that I have in my collection. It's very thirsty, and the pot that it's in is this like Dollar Tree pot. I don't love it because it just has holes in the bottom, so I have to like pick it up to go water it, and that's why I never do it. We have a bunch of Monstera cuttings that are just chilling in water. A lot of them have grown like second and third pieces, so that's really amazing. There's another Monstera in this container that's probably dying. That doesn't look great at all. We have a Monstera adansonii in the palm container. The global green pothos, I recently put this over here because honestly this plant was pissing me off, and it's so thirsty, and it's just easier to water it when it's over here because it's right by the sink. So hopefully we get it to continue to grow. Oh look, we have a little bit of new growth here, so maybe it likes it here. And I used to think that I didn't get great light here, but as you can see, like the light is giving, like it's really good actually right here. I don't know why I thought it was always so bad. Another golden pothos. I am so shocked that this just like does not grow for me. I don't know, it just like has not grown like at all. Like it's, ooh, let me stop talking shit. Oh, actually it is growing. Oh, it's just kind of like tangled up. Look, there we go. It is growing. Okay. There's a Cebu blue back there sitting in leca. Shocked it's still alive, honestly. And this is actually the first Scindapsus tribui moonlight that I got. Like I got this from somebody locally years ago, and it's just only this. Like, I don't know. And this Hoya is so dusty and crusty. Like, what am I even gonna say about this? Like, I feel like I keep watering it, but I think the water, or I think the soil is hydrophobic, and I think that's why it's not getting the water. So it's something that needs to be repotted very, very soon. This Monstera is one of the first ones that I put in leca, and it was growing super, super well. And I actually just like didn't put any water in here for months, and it's still like alive. So I was like, let me put some water in and see what happens, and it's still growing. So I'm like, what the heck? I don't know. It's definitely not doing great, but still alive. This money tree has been on and off for me for basically the last 4 years. This is a plant that my mom bought when she helped me move down here to Austin. and it had 5 of the stems. Obviously they're usually like intertwined with each other, and it's literally living off of one, and I'm just so shocked that it's still alive. It's in soil. I repotted it I think last year or the year before when my mom came down here to visit me, and it's still alive. So honestly, I'm just gonna keep watering it. It has new growth, which is amazing, and I think it's a good sign that it's still alive 4 years later. You may be wondering, Courtney, why is your alocasia in the middle of the floor? That's because it has spider mites, and I've been fighting with this alocasia. I don't even remember what kind it is, but I've been fighting with this plant for so long. It actually died off completely, started to regrow over like the spring, summertime. I had it outside. It was doing exceptionally well. Brought it in, struggled a little bit, then it was fine. Then it had spider mites, cleaned all the leaves off, did all I had to do. And you know, it got spider mites again, and I just have not done anything with it. Like, I know I need to do it, but I just like, it's just so much work because this is a plant that needs to be like done outside because it's so big. And I actually need to put some systemic in it. I think that's gonna be my best option first off. And to do that, I need to do it outside because it's not actually in its own pot. This is another anthurium that I recently repotted. This one has always been pretty finicky for me, so I think it's just gonna take a while to get adjusted. And I kind of just pulled it out of the grow tent and just, you know, decided that's what I was gonna do. I don't know, I don't really love it, but I'm just gonna keep it because I think it has potential. Here we have my Scindapsus Pictus exotica. I just watered this plant this morning. You can see the soil is wet, but this plant has been so dry lately. Like in the winter, I don't expect to be watering that much, but just the weather is just so insane. So hopefully it'll recover soon because it was so dry, and I feel like I've been watering it so much, but I feel like these plants are just extra thirsty. Here we have my black velvet alocasia, and if you follow me on TikTok, I talk about this plant all the time, but I haven't talked about it in a couple of months because I fucked it up. I waited too long to change the medium, and it was in this terrible soil from Miracle-Gro that I will not even mention because I'm not even gonna recommend it because it sucks. But I knew I would eventually have to repot it because the soil just was so bad, and I wanted to do it in this method with leca and perlite, and obviously you can see it really likes it, and it's finally recovering. Like, I grew this plant to 7 leaves and it died down to 2, so I lost 5 leaves within a matter of weeks. So I knew, I was like, girl, you need to hurry up and do this. But we have leaf number 3, and there's another one poking out right there, so I think it really loves growing in this method, and I'm so glad I changed it. And next to this, I have this little like ceramic humidifier. I don't know if it like works super well, but I just like it, and I got it from the dollar store. I got it from, I forget what it's called, but it's in like the it's a Daiso, that's where I got it from. Up here is 2 plants, are 2 plants that I pulled out of my grow tent to repot into drainless potting, and I've been a little bit concerned about them, to be honest with you, because sometimes plants take to being drainless or changing their medium right away, and sometimes it takes a while. So I was looking at these plants and they're making me a little bit nervous because this one was damn near perfect out of the grow tent, but you can see it's getting kind of like these little leaf spots. So you know, it's just adjusting. This one is like the worst, and I'm just like, oh my god, please don't die. It hasn't had any new growth, but it's not dead, so that's a plus. This is my Sodiroy. I've had a couple of these. This one is the one that's grown the best. I was checking this out today and I was like, oh wait, the roots are finally getting down to like the bottom. Like, they're getting used to it, which is a good sign, because this new leaf has been like there for a long time, and I've just been like, oh my gosh, when is it gonna finally pop out? But now that I see that the roots are really working, I know that it's like not going to die. Like, it's gonna be happy in here, and you can kind of see like right there, it's about to pop out. So I'm excited to see what happens with this. Down here we have my Philodendron biliaceae, and this is the other one that I imported, and you can see like this one is growing from the middle, so it's really amazing. I do think though, because I checked it out, I think it might have a little, oh my gosh, one of my plants just touched my back. It might have a little bit of root rot. I'm not 100% sure, because this could just be dark, because the way my crystallium looked, it looked like the roots were dark. But this one, you can see the roots are growing towards the bottom and they're looking pretty good. So I think this plant will continue to put out some amazing leaves. This is the latest one that it put out, which is a little bit smaller than the other ones, but it still has time to grow. And I've only had one or two leaves die on this, and that's like the second one, and I've had this for a long time. This is my Philodendron giganteum. It sticks to the name, it's great. I did make this moss pole for it, and I honestly hate it. I don't really like moss poles because they're just like so big and bulky, and also the watering, it's not even about just keeping them wet, but because this entire thing is the moss, like when the water goes down, it kind of sprays everywhere. You can see how dry that is, and I just put water in here. It's just like kind of annoying, but it keeps growing, so I think it'll grow pretty big. Up here we have this dry micans. This is like the driest plant ever. I need to water it. You can tell it's like very curled up, but it needs to be watered like ASAP. And last but not least is the big one, the Monstera. So these leaves down here are the oldest leaves. All of these are really old. And basically all the ones up here are the ones that have grown in my care. But recently, this happened last week, this leaf was already out. And then the next morning I came down and it was flipped this way. So it's not supposed to be like this. You can see like it's supposed to be like completely turned that way. And I was supposed to like repin it and I just didn't. And I'm basically just gonna let it grow and see what happens. So it does look like it got a little bit better because it was like flopped over really bad. But you know, we're just gonna wait and watch and see what happens with this plant and all the other plants in my collection. I wanna thank you so much for watching this video, and look out for another update next month in February.